Have you ever had those interactions with dissatisfied clients or patients where they go, you know what, I'm going to write you the worst review ever, you're an asshole? Well, I've had those over the years, and it's really important how you actually address them and how you deal with them. And don't do what I did. You know, I've had some interactions with patients where they've yelled and swore, and I swore right back and said, you know what, I'm going to write you back the worst fucking review ever because you're an asshole. Don't go to that extreme. But there is a way to deal with negative reviews on Google and on Facebook and everything like that, because you do have the opportunity to respond back. So use that opportunity. So when you have a negative review, it's going to happen. It's part of the process. One thing I look for when I'm looking for something out there is I'm looking for people that do have some negative reviews. Usually someone around like a 4.5 or 4.7 stars on there. The people I worry about the most are the ones that have all 5-star reviews, because you know what, a lot of times they probably just paid their friends and family or gave someone an incentive to do that. So I always look for that kind of sweet range in there, because then I know the reviews are legitimate. So in our office, we've had bad reviews over the years, and that happens. But the reason this happens is because we actually hold people accountable. In our office, when you come in for care, you actually have a strict code of conduct. You know, we ask you to be on time, not to be late, not be rude to the staff, to do your exercises, to take your supplements, and just be a good person. People that do bad with care in our office, they couldn't fulfill that code of conduct, so what we had to do was withdraw them from the practice. So then they get pissed off and they're like, I'm gonna write you the worst review ever, you're a fucking asshole, I'm gonna let the whole world go. You know what, I always respond back to those people, I'm like, you know what, I don't even care if you write me a bad review, because you're being a shitty person, and I wish I could tell the world that you're a shitty person. But that can't happen when you're a doctor, because you get handcuffed by a simple law called HIPAA. So a patient can go out there and say all these things and whatever, and usually people that are gonna write a negative review usually are kind of shitty people anyway, and they don't want to address it. So the first thing is, if you do get a bad review, try to handle it yourself. Reach out to that person and see what you can do. Use that as information and tools to get more information and see what you can do better, and come from a genuine place of, I'm trying to figure out why this didn't go right. But when you get that really, what I call that nuclear or toxic person, where no matter what you say, they're gonna write a bad review because they're just having a shitty day and they wanna have a punching bag. One thing that I always wanna do is never ignore that. One thing I look for is someone has a really nasty review, respond back as the owner and try to be factual, because a lot of those people are being emotional, and if you give logical facts about what's going on, not violating their HIPAA violation, it can really just help people know that it's part of the process. So when they're scanning through, they can see, okay, well that person probably is a little crazy and the doctor responded in a really good way. Maybe that person was just having a bad day. So don't be afraid to address bad reviews. You know, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I don't want to get a bad review. This is going to be awful. It's the end of the world, and you fixate on it. It's going to happen, especially if you're trying to hold people accountable. People need to be held accountable. And if they're not, you know what? Risk the idea that you're going to have a bad review, because it's okay. And it shows that you really do care, because there are people out there that are going to be dissatisfied with what you do. But don't let people hold you hostage and let them be a victim of what's going on. We have people all the time who's like, if you don't do this, I'm going to tell everyone that you're an asshole and everything like that. That's not fair, but people use that all the time. Just because you can write a review doesn't mean that you can be an asshole and be a person that doesn't follow the process. So don't be afraid to respond to negative reviews, and understand that it's going to happen if you're doing things right. Just make sure you get a lot of good reviews in there to go amongst that. So that's my business education for this week. If you like the video, or you have a comment or anything that you want to share, drop me a message, drop me a like. We're here to help, and I'm really helping to educate people on all the core functions of business. Thanks for watching.